Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. Just a quick note, I'm going to ask if for this video, please watch it straight through if you can, or skip to the middle-ish part of it, because there is some very important information that nobody is talking about. And I'm very surprised that the media has yet to report on it. So let it be known that you heard it first here. Enjoy. Over the last couple days, I've been thinking about the events that have unfolded, and I have to believe that this couple is really not that stupid. In Hollywood, victimhood is the most profitable thing today. The people aligned with Meghan and the sharks circling Harry know global attention is going to fall on them for being controversial or outrageous. As a result, for whatever stunt that they pull at the time, they end up taking up the front pages as well as saturating all news media outlets. Make no mistake, Meghan and Harry made money off of last week's PR stunt. Harry and Meghan know how not to be seen when they don't want to. Like, can anyone say when the couple flew back or even if they flew back to California? No one saw them come or go, which means they have the privacy that they want when they want it. What I think is going on here is it's about distraction and deflecting people's attention to one direction while shady and nefarious things are happening in another direction. In my opinion, and I don't care if the Harkles feel hurt that the public doesn't believe what they're saying, I believe that this sick stunt that they pulled in New York City was calculated and planned to serve two purposes. One, it's for the security on the big case. If you think about it, by design, they made their top tier former Secret Service security guard look incompetent on purpose, giving an excuse as to why they need this exclusive protection. The other reason is that it was done as a way of distracting people from paying attention to the more serious things happening. This global agenda, it's real. Whether or not people want to acknowledge it or not, it's happening. We need to wake up and pay attention to what the media is not talking about. Many of you think that Meghan is being backed by some powerful people. I would have to agree about that. Could this mess and dominating headlines been a way to distract the demographic that Meghan and Harry have been focused on influencing, specifically around the Durham report? Clearly, it exposed Meghan's mentor, Hillary, as well as Barack, for making up the narrative of Russian interference with number 45. Mainstream media is doing its very best to distract the public away from taking it seriously. But we're not going to talk about that situation. Not just yet. This video is going to focus on what I think that they are not telling people about. In my opinion, I believe that they are grifting further, and I think that they're doing it in ways that can't be traced. We've been so distracted by this couple's shenanigans that nobody is looking or talking about Travalyst and the recent activity. So let's rip this apart. So let's take a step back. What the heck is Travalyst? Good question. On their website, really doesn't say much on the homepage where it says changing the way we travel for good. In the About page, it says Travalyst is a not-for-profit organization which seeks to catalyze sustainability within the tourism industry. So who are they? It says founded by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex in 2019, is essentially saying that it's a growing global coalition that includes for-profit organizations such as Google, Trip.com, Visa, Expedia Group. So this little Napoleon dictator set up Travalyst as an entity that is going to provide supportive, independent, and neutral governance around how people should be traveling. Yeah, I'm not making this up. So let's take a look at the company details for this not-for-profit by searching the UK charity database. Wait, no results were found for Travalyst? How could that be? Surely Prince Harry wouldn't lie about that. Let's go over to Companies House and check out their documentation. Well, looky here, they finally posted their financials. Shall we take a look? Let's do. Now, for those that may not know or don't remember, when Travalyst posted their first report on their financials, many had questioned the balance sheet. Many people thought that Harry and Meghan misappropriated funds that were given by the Royal Foundation and somehow went into Travalyst and then disappeared. So, according to this article, the Royal Foundation gave £144,901 to the non-charitable organization called Travalyst. So I'm not sure why Harry is calling his organization a not-for-profit, but it is confirmed that it is for profit. The Royal Foundation also gave a grant to Sussex Royal, which was the charity that Meghan and Harry were setting up, but ended up not setting it up, and the £145,000 mysteriously evaporated. Many suspect that that money made it over into Travalyst and was withdrawn and funneled into one of the shell corporations that Meghan and Harry had opened up. Nobody really knows what happened to that money, but the report for 2021 was that it showed the assets remaining of £11,538 for this company, Travalyst. Many people questioned it. Some gave Harry the benefit of the doubt because he was just starting, and the Sussexes gave a whole bunch of excuses as to what money they were using for legal fees and blah, blah, blah. Let's just say it was a lot of deflection and it was never really answered. So, fast forward this recent report. Let's take a look at what has changed. So, let's see what the 2022 report says. So, the director's report. Let's scroll down. Says principal activity. The company's principal activity is to promote global awareness of the importance of sustainable tourism by aligning the world's leading travel brands on how to report sustainability across their platforms in ways that help consumers make better decisions. We're going to revisit that statement a little later on, but let's take a look at the directors. So, Sally Davy is one of them, and James Holt is the other. That name should ring a bell, as he is an executive director of Archwell, and he is the sucker that signed his name on that IRS tax return. So, that's the dude that's also listed here for Prince Harry. It says small companies exemption. In preparing this report, the directors have taken advantage of the small companies exemptions provided by Section 415A of the Companies Act 2006. So, what does the UK consider a small company? By definition, the company is small that has two of the following: a turnover of £10.2 million or less, 50 employees or less, or 5.1 million or less on its balance sheet. If you're a small company, you can use the exemption so your company's accounts do not need to be audited. Choose whether or not to send a copy of the director's report and profit and loss account to Company's House, and send abridged accounts to Company's House. I'm literally having flashbacks to Archwell's 2020 filing, where they reported less than $50,000 in receipts for this public charity, avoiding being audited or scrutinized on the nefarious activities going on within that so-called foundation. I'm getting the same kind of vibe with Travalyst, but let's continue on. So let's take a look at this balance sheet. At first glance, this looks already fugazi. So the first line, it says tangible assets, and they're showing for 2022, £946. In 2021, they didn't have a cost there. So we'll look at what those tangible assets are in a second. So according to these numbers, it looks like they made a little bit of profit. So in 2021, they were net £11,538. And for 2022, the net was £44,747. But it really doesn't explain what that money is for, because they're taking advantage of this small company's provision. So we don't know what the breakout is. However, they did break out the assets, and I'm going to call BS on it. So this tangible asset they have listed here is for computer equipment, listed over 3 years. And here's why this stinks. Listed here, they're showing the asset breakout. So they're saying 1,099 pounds, and then with the depreciation of this equipment is a net of 946 pounds. So it means to tell me for 4 employees at Travalyst, they have 1 computer? Or are they saying that each of those computers for the employees are worth approximately $200 or $300 a piece? We all know that Harry's cheap, but this is taking it to another level, providing if they're telling the truth, which I don't buy. So I'm not going to try to interpret the rest of this balance sheet because I really don't understand it, aside from the bottom figure where they have listed here for the deferred income. In 2022, it's showing that this company did 230,216 pounds versus in 2021, the income that came in was 336,432 pounds. On the books, it's showing that they made less. However, the company grew from 3 employees to 4 employees, and the activity that is being seen on the website doesn't make me believe these numbers one bit. So let's look at how they make their money. So according to this report, revenue is recognized for rendering of services. Revenue from a contract to provide services is recognized in the period in which the services are provided in accordance with the stage of completion of the contract when all of the following conditions are satisfied. The amount of revenue can be measured reliably. It is probable that the company will receive the consideration due to the contract. The stage of completion of the contract at the end of the reporting period can be measured reliably, and the costs incurred and the cost to complete the contract can be measured reliably. So here's an important part. It says other income. Other income in the prior period relates to grants receivable. Grants are accounted for in accordance with the accrual method as permitted by FRS 102. I don't know what the FRS 102 is, but Travalyst accepts grants. Now, my question to the great people of the UK, can a for-profit company accept a grant from, let's say, a private company or even a government entity like the US when they are not a non-for-profit themselves? Leave your comments below and let me know. I really have no idea here on this one. So in my understanding of how they make money, Travalyst is providing a service to this coalition. They're housing Google, Trip.com, Expedia, Visa, really big corporations, in giving them some kind of service for whatever Travalyst is supposed to be doing, which we're going to get to in a second. So keep that in the back of your mind. These are very big companies working with this organization, and looking at the financials, to me, looks a little light. Let me show you why I've come to that conclusion. Let's go back to the Travalyst website. So Travalyst has been quite busy building out this website. The people who design the website are the same people who does the Archwell website, as well as when you look at the content, it's pretty high quality. Let me show you why I've come to that conclusion. Let's go back to the Travalyst website. This is the globalist agenda. Listen to the words that they throw out there: collecting data, measuring your carbon footprint.
Travalyst exists to bring the industry together and make sure that sustainable travel becomes the only way to travel and operate.
Guys, you got to listen to the choice words that they use here. Guys, you just heard that. They want this to become the end-all be-all in being the one who decides what sustainable travel is for you.
Founded by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, Travalyst is a coalition of some of the biggest brands in travel.
And they want us to believe that the financials that they posted is what this organization did when they're partnered with the biggest travel companies in the world. The way that this company makes its money is through services and contracts. So You mean to tell me that these massive travel companies are not giving this company money? Come on. Harry is definitely not doing this for free, guys. We'd be stupid to believe that, especially he himself doesn't use sustainable travel. He's not doing this because he's so passionate about it. There's money here, and a lot of it, especially collecting all this data about people and their whereabouts, which is a dangerous thing in what I'm seeing here. Hold up, wasn't this photo from Better Up and that summit? Why did they put this in the Travalyst propaganda video? Oh, right, I forgot who we're talking about. This is the Prince of Deceit.
Working together allows us to source and present consistent sustainability information using our collective power to scale, while influencing the travel industry and making our work available for all.
Our partners are collaborating week in, week out on building the tools and technology to collect millions of data points and bring them to consumers in a really clear and simplified way that truly helps consumers make better choices. We know already that the vast majority of travelers worldwide want to be making better choices, but they don't know how. That's why Travalyst exists, to bring the right information to the websites that you already know and trust.
Do you guys see what's going on here? We're getting to a point where they're making it sound very friendly and, yeah, it's harmless, but realize that they're collecting data on all of us. That data is being harvested to all these different points that they're talking about, and it's being sold various places. We hear a lot about the WEF, and these are the conversations that they're having in these exclusive meetings that regular folk like you and I are not a part of. Nobody elected them any type of head of state, but they're taking the initiative to make themselves the authority on what we will be able to do in the future, where we're able to go, what type of transportation we will be allowed to take. This is what they're doing currently now in China. Do you see how warm and friendly the messaging is? It's like, yeah, we're doing a great thing for the planet, and this is a crisis that we have going on right now. You see, I would buy it because it's a beautiful presentation, but the fact that I know so much about Prince Harry and the hypocrisy around it just kind of kills everything else, especially knowing what he and the wife are all about, and that is money. So today, Travalyst releases this news brief, and from the look of it, they're definitely growing. It says, when Travalyst launched just 3.5 years ago, it was set up as a pilot to rapidly test the hypothesis that an independent and neutral, not-for-profit could help the travel industry accelerate its progress towards net positive impact. Can someone give me a sanity check from the UK? Calling yourself a not-for-profit, and you're really not a not-for-profit, but registered as a private company, is fraud, right? Anyhow, let me continue. We would do this by convening and leveraging the collective power of some of the most influential travel and technology companies in the world. Fast forward to 2023, a global pandemic, notwithstanding, and the original coalition comprising 5 founding partners has now almost doubled in size. 9 partners with a combined market value of nearly $2 trillion. Get that, guys, but Travalyst only reported a profit of 44,000 plus pounds. Okay. The group has worked incredibly hard together throughout, with deep commitment to our shared principles, and has delivered on what it set out to do: collaborate, competitively to bring clear and consistent sustainability reporting to the mainstream of travel for the first time ever, together for the benefit of all. Man, that sounds so much like the wife. I don't know what else to say on that. There are now 2 unified Travalyst frameworks driving consistent sustainability reporting in both accommodation and aviation that are live and out in the world. As partners implement those frameworks and bring sustainability information to the mainstream consumer experience, we are raising awareness and supporting more positive choices at a scale the industry and world has never seen before, for billions of consumers. But this is just the beginning. Oh, sure, they're going to collect your data and they're going to track you wherever you go. They're going to know your spending habits. I really don't like where this is going. I don't want people like Harry knowing my whereabouts and the choices that I make and then judging me by giving me a score and then be affected by that. Because technically, that's what's going to happen. If you have a high score of too much traveling and your carbon footprint is pretty vast, then you know what? You might end up getting banned from being able to travel or have to pay some kind of tax. I mean, these are discussions that are being held by these people. It's real. Let me continue with this news brief. It gets better. It says today, we formally mark the end of Travalyst pilot phase with the appointment of a new board to govern and guide us on our journey ahead in delivering major positive and system changing impact. The board is composed of individuals with world class expertise in impact, systems change, not for profit governance, advocacy, and campaigning for a just and sustainable world. The new board members are the chair is India Gary Martin, founder and CEO of something, but she's all about reducing racial bias. Gotta have her on the team. You guys can look up the rest of them, they're equally as woke. Now, if you want, you guys can pause it to read the rest of it, but it literally sounds like the same script that all these other snowflakes are regurgitating. I do want to point out the part that they have about strategic partnerships. And it says here, in order to drive maximum alignment with the travel and tourism industry, we aim to work in partnership with experts and key players across all aspects on standardizing sustainability information for operators and consumers alike. We have a number of strategic partnerships and agreements in place with government and non governmental organizations, industry associations, and guardians of global sustainability standards to ensure our work is additive, complies with, and, where helpful, influences regulations and represents a diverse set of stakeholders from operators to distribution and corporate travel platforms. Do you see what they are trying to do? The moment you see government and now you see that they want to influence regulation, this is the same nonsense that Harry is pulling here in the United States with our freedom of speech. I don't want him influencing anything that's going to affect my livelihood, my freedoms. I need him to get the F out of here. Especially when these hypocrites at Travalyst, the 4 employees that exist, the founder himself supersedes these numbers by taking private jets everywhere he goes. So I don't want them to be telling us how much carbon footprint that they have and blah, blah, blah. In fact, there's no benchmark here to say what's normal, what's not. Like, these numbers mean nothing to me. I don't trust this. I don't like where we're heading. I don't want Harry having any of my data. And you guys need to be aware that this is what's happening. So while we're distracted with all their nonsense and acting a fool so nobody can take them seriously, look at what is being built out behind that. No one is talking about this yet. And I hope that somebody who has some kind of pull in the UK can go to Companies House to take a look at the financials around this company because it stinks to high heaven. Anyhow, I'm just going to leave this here with you guys. What do you think? Do you smell fraud like I do? Leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content, but until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It was such a fraud.